Hello, I'm Jonathan Miller, your host, and I'm joined by Gary Evans, CEO of Evergreen Sustainable Enterprises, ticker symbol EGSE on the OTCQB. Gary, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure. Now, would you like to tell us a little bit more about the company?
Sure. We're a little bit of an anomaly in that we started out as a hemp company. Our company was called Generation Hemp, and we converted over our name change earlier this year to Evergreen Sustainable Enterprises to really reflect our focus on green and sustainability. So we do not only hemp, we're the largest hemp processor in the U.S., but we also do Bitcoin mining. And the correlation there is that we can actually use hemp herd and biomass in boilers to make electricity for Bitcoin. So we made our first acquisition early this year in the Bitcoin space, and I'll talk about that today.
Excellent. And from my memory, you have been doing some work down in Costa Rica as far as using renewable energy, the biomass you mentioned, to help process some of these bit mining excursions.
Exactly. We actually bought a hydroelectric dam, a dam that had been around about 30 years in Costa Rica. That country, 90+% of its electricity comes from water and hydro. And so there was a unique opportunity to buy this dam, which we did in January. And then we ordered 240 new Bitmain SJ Pro machines. They got delivered, and those are actually being installed now. So basically, the idea is to have very, very cheap energy. Our cost of energy down there are about 2 cents a kilowatt hour, which is unheard of. And that allows our margins on our Bitcoin mining to be much greater than normal.
In addition to that, what would be some of the company's competitive advantages?
I would say that we are kind of stealth. We are under the radar. Our other operations that we're trying to implement in the U.S., being in the states of Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, we have a smaller footprint. So some of our larger Bitcoin competitors go in wanting to put 100, 150 megawatt projects in. It takes several years and go through all kinds of regulatory approvals. We go in and put 1, 2, 5, 10 megawatts in, and we can get them done really quickly. And we don't disrupt the grid, and we're typically using all green resources. So it's something that the investors seem to like, as well as the local community.
I think so. You know, bit mining is all the hype right now, and being able to do that in an ecologically efficient way and an environmentally friendly way is also huge. Tell us a little bit about your capital allocation strategy.
Well, our real focus, I think, for the remainder of 2023 is to get some of these other sites up and going. Fortunately, the capital to get them going is not that great. Because we typically lease the land, and we're not buying the asset like we did in Costa Rica, which was an unusual situation. We're actually just contracting to get the power from the co-op or the utility, and those typically are 5 to 10 year contracts. So it's really a matter of putting the containers in and buying the machines and getting set up. So it's a lot of work with respect to boots on the ground than it is actual capital.
How many employees do you have working for the company?
We have today, I think, about 9 employees. Now, when our hemp operations take off, which is after the growing season, we'll hire, up to 20 contract employees.
Fantastic. And how do you measure your successes? What are your key performance indicators?
Well, I think the biggest key is keeping our costs low. And so whether that be our people, or whether that be the actual cost of power, being able to have that higher margin, that really kind of goes back to my oil and gas days. I was in fossil fuels most of my life, and I always made my most money when oil and gas prices went down, and I was a bottom fisher and buying properties out of bankruptcies and bank foreclosures. Same thing in the Bitcoin space. We had Bitcoin last year at $70,000, came down as low as 16. That's when we entered Costa Rica. It's at 27 today, and our cost in Costa Rica is only 10, so we have that kind of a margin.
Excellent. And what's on the horizon for the company? Where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
We hope to be, we are presently the largest hemp processor. We want to grow that more vertically. We are kind of the middleman between the grower and the end user of the hemp. And there's a lot more businesses now trying to implement hemp in their processes. Today, BMW and Porsche make car door panels out of hemp. We're contracting with a Canadian builder to build 150 homes in Alabama out of hemp, concrete, insulation. So that process is an evolution that's continuing, but we couldn't really build the asset base of the company very big in the hemp space. That's what led us to Bitcoin. So our people were doing both hemp and Bitcoin in two areas that are, volatile like a lot of things, but we see the ability to grow the asset base significantly in the Bitcoin space.
Absolutely. Most people don't understand that anything made from crude can be made from hemp at an environmentally friendly and cost-effective fashion.
Right.
And actually, Henry Ford made the first Model T from hemp.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
People don't realize the first 4 presidents of the United States were hemp farmers. The Bill of Rights is written on hemp paper. The Chinese Army is all hemp uniforms. So it's coming. It was improperly outlawed in the late 30s, early 40s, and with the signing of the Farm Bill by Trump in 2019, you're seeing more and more companies trying to figure out how to implement hemp in their business. And I think it's going through growing pains, like any business. There was too much hemp grown a couple of years ago. That's all gone now. So the equilibrium is back in place with supply and demand. And so we're seeing prices beginning to increase. So it's two businesses that are new and revolutionary and exciting. We're pretty happy about it.
It very much is. We look forward to following along with the story. And where can our audience go to find out more about the company?
We have a great active website that you can go and look at on the company, and we keep it updated regularly. And our investor relations person, Melissa Pagan, can contact her, and we'll send you out any kind of information you need. So be happy to help our investor shareholder base.
The company.
It's important to know, though, management owns 70% of the company, so we're fully invested.
Thank you so much. The company's Evergreen Sustainable Enterprises. Gary Evans, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.